The Federal and Francis Xavier Engineering College jointly present the Nellai Marathon 2024. This event is powered by Little Flower Public School and NIMS Hospital, Tirunelveli. Run for Health on Sunday, December 29. Entry is free and all are welcome.
If we don't regulate these aggregators, India will consume, Indians will produce, somebody else will come and eat the profit and take it out of this country for no fault of an entrepreneur, and heavy damages, penalties are being implemented. Who are these people? Let's go back to Walmart. Let's go back to Amazon. Most of these people, whether Flipkart or anybody for that matter, are owned by foreign entities.
Hello, Federal viewers. Welcome to a special interview with Mr. K. Raghunathan, who heads the Association of Indian Entrepreneurs. Today, we will be talking to him about how, in the recent days, companies like Amazon and WhatsApp are setting up the business summits for small traders, and how the MSME industries in India, many of them demand exemption from GST even after 7 years of the implementation, and how the MSME sector is on the growth phase. Welcome to the show, sir. Sir, can you please talk to us about the GST exemption? Actually, in the recent pre-budget meeting with the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, many MSME stakeholders sought exemption in GST. Can you explain to us how GST has impacted, and is it reasonable to go for an exemption?
There is a procedural confusion that exists. There are about 940 revisions on the tax slabs which has come into the force in the last 7 years. There is a severe notices which are being issued for no fault of an entrepreneur, and heavy damages, penalties are being implemented. It's a draconian law where the tax compliance agencies have a right to even freeze my account or even arrest an entrepreneur. So all these things have become very difficult for the people who are connected with the industry or the consultants who support industries to cope up with. That is exactly the problem, how the GST got many of the entrepreneurs uprooted. We had a software related issue. We had the procedural aspects issue. We had the compliance aspects issues. We had the rates issue. We had the eligibility issue. So that totally offset the people. Even today, you find in Tamil Nadu, 2 days back, the entire traders have gone on a strike across the state because of the implementation of GST 18% on the rental income from the commercial establishments. On a 1 lakh rent per month, 18,000 goes to the government. How can people afford it in a situation like this?
Okay.
So the GST per se has been unfortunately wrong implemented policy.
Fine, sir. I understand. Sir, when I spoke to experts like Pranab Sen, the former chief statistician of India, he told me there are some signs that the MSME sector is on the revival phase. After the pandemic, they were in a shock, but the corporates were catering to many of those segments, which used to be primarily being looked after by the MSMEs. But after that phase, now there is a phase that MSMEs are eating into the corporate market. Actually, they are bouncing back to the place where they used to be. Do you see any signs on the ground?
No, it's a wrong interpretation by the people who are part of the government either now or earlier. They sit in an air-conditioned room and see observations. Now, you and I, let's say, today an ICU of a hospital remains full. Let's say 10-bedded ICU and all the patients were in ICU. And within a week, all of them died. Now the ICU is very empty. Somebody who visits a hospital just today will say, all ICUs are very empty. So that means people are very healthy. That's a wrong assumption. All the people who are struggling to cope up have died.
How about the Mudra loans? And government says there are many traders who are taking those loans, and Actually, they have even increased the loan amount from 10 lakh to 20 lakh. Don't you think all these things have helped them?
As far as Mudra loan is concerned, it was a short-term relief to the people. It was not a long-term investments of people's into the business activities. Number one. Number two, Mudra loans were meant for small-time traders, vendors. Number three, what is very important is their income generation using this money and repaying this money. The Mudra loan repayment has become extremely difficult. You ask the bankers, some of the banks have had even up to 60% of Mudra loan non-repayments. So, Mudra loan cannot be treated as a loan which is given for industrial activities or business activities. It is only a short-term cash flow problems.
It
Now,
didn't help the MSME sector in a big way. Don't
no,
you?
it
Because
doesn't help.
whenever we hear from ministers, finance minister, many union ministers, they talk very proudly about this Mudra loan and how it has helped small entrepreneurs and how it makes them to go in for a next step in their business.
There is a difference between being an entrepreneur and being self-employed. An entrepreneur is one who creates employment opportunities and creates a brand, creates a value, and adds up to the economy of the country. A
But why do
self-employed,
you believe any person who starts his own home-based company, why don't you think that will add up to the economy of the country? How different is this self-employment and entrepreneurship?
self-employment is like a vegetable vendor is a self-employment. A flower lady who sells the flowers in the street corner is an self-employed. A small tea shop owner is a self-employed. These are all they are not even under the parameters of the 20 lakhs threshold limit of the government's on GST. They don't add to the economy of the country. They add to their livelihood of their living. They don't create employment. So this Mudra loan was targeting those kind of self-employed people. It doesn't add up to their economic scale of operations.
What's your comment on the business summits being organized by private entities like Amazon and WhatsApp? They come up with a business summit and they bring in all small traders together. How this will contribute to the economy of the country, and these are all the private firms that are organizing these summits. Do you think government has to pitch in and bringing any regulation?
It is high time the government protects the local traders and entrepreneurs and industries. It's high time. Who are these people? Let's go back to Walmart. Let's go back to Amazon. Most of these people, whether Flipkart or anybody for that matter, are owned by foreign entities. And they don't manufacture anything. They solicit the products from the entrepreneurs. And they juice the people and get at the lowest price because of the volume game which they play. And the entire risk is on the entrepreneur. I buy a product from Amazon today. I don't like the product. I resend the product. The Amazon gets a good name as a good service provider. But who gets the hit? It is the entrepreneur who gets the hit. I pay Amazon on the day I receive or on the day I order. Whereas Amazon pays its suppliers after 30 days or 45 days or even sometimes 60 days. They play with the entrepreneurs who are India based and they make the huge profits out of our consumption as well as manufacturing, and they take out the money out of this country. And what do we ultimately get? Now, yes, if the Diwali comes and if Amazon comes out with a 5 days of sale mela, it does about 75,000 crore of business. Who affected by that? It is the traders. It is the showroom owners. They are the ones who are affected by that 75,000 crore of business. Now, you are coming and you run an Arak shop and then you spend 2% as a CSR in educating the people who are impacted by you. We are killing the whole economic activities of this country. We are not able to understand this. Now, how by onboarding all these people into a digital platform, you are again killing them. Now you take Uber, for example, when you get a good payment as a surge money, and if you don't share it with the person who really slogs, then the rhythm gets affected. And one fine day, what happens is you don't have any shops nearby to buy. That's what happened in COVID times. When Amazon and Flipkarts and app integrators were not working, it was only the corner shops which were giving the provisions to the people. Now, India is built with all sorts of people. You go to US today, you go to any developed nation today, you will not find such shops. You will not find a tea shop. If you want to buy something, you must go to a mall. You must go to a shopping center. India is a lot different. This is decentralized. There is an income generation for the house owner because he rents out this premises to somebody and earns. There is a business connect. There is a communication connect. There is a negotiation connect. There is a surplus or credit system. I want to buy something, I can go and buy in my next door shop and put it in the accounts notebook and pay it over a month. And if I don't like the quality, I can go and return back to him. All these are at a cost with which the society was living. Now, this person who was selling, let's say, 10 kgs of salt has to go through the normal manufacturer, distributor, dealer, retailer chain network. Now, the aggregator comes with only a logistics strength and removes all the other three players in it, which is distributor, retailer, and the seller. Now, that benefit of the commission chain is what he is able to get as a discount package. And he squeezes this person because of the volume he can give them. Earlier, if my road shop fellow was doing business within the area of mine, now he is able to do business throughout the country. That's what we say, but it is not so. It is not so. Unless you have a unique product which nobody else has, you cannot sell across beyond your region. Let's understand that. There can be a brand coming, let's say a Sharp Motors. Without a retailer, somebody in Ladakh can buy a Sharp motor through an Amazon platform. He can compare the prices of Sharp or X and Y, Z brands and then decide what he wants. Convenience comes in the picture, but what about the living of these people? So the government must become a regulatory agency. There is a saying in Tamil, Alavukku minjinal amurdamum nanchi, which means even if it is amurdam, if it exceeds a quantity, it becomes a poison. If we don't regulate these aggregators, India will consume, Indians will produce, somebody else will come and eat the profit and take it out of this country.